So Pantlaza is the commander. You happen to already have her and Hulking Raptor on the battlefield, right? You have Invasion of Ikoria in your hand. Hulking Raptor gives you 2 green, so the cost for Invasion, at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. So you use the 2 green to pay for Invasion. Invasion has, when it enters the battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for any non-human creature card, mana value X or less, put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library, this way shuffle. So library or graveyard, important, right? So you get to basically pay whatever the CMC is, whatever the mana cost is for whatever creature you want, as long as it's not a human, and put it onto the battlefield. And it comes from graveyard or library, because you already have the 2 green covered from Hulking. So some great choices for this that I happen to have in my deck would be Pugnacious Hammer Skull, 3 mana for a 6 Discover trigger off of Pantlaza, because it's a dinosaur entering the battlefield. Topiary Stomper, 4 Discover trigger, but 3 mana to fetch a basic. Polani's Hatcher, 3 Discover triggers, so not the best, but every dinosaur entering with haste, and then the ability to get chump blockers or, you know, more for attacks or bodies or triggers for Earthshaker is just great. So 3 mana Discover, not the best, but the rest of the card is great, and it's only 5 mana. And then for 6 mana, you get a 7 Discover trigger, and then when it enters the battlefield, you know, you get to either eliminate another creature or give something else haste and trample. Ravenous Tyrannosaurus, you get a 6 Discover trigger. You're paying 6 mana for it, but you're getting 2 6 mana spells for that cost, right? So it's really not that bad. And again, you're getting to pick it from either your graveyard or your library. You can have the Devour 3 active, and then you get all the other bonuses when it attacks. Trumpeting Carnosaur, if you've already discarded it to use it as a burn, then you can get it back from your graveyard. 6 mana for another 6 Discovery. Earthshaker, 6 mana, 6 Discovery, has trample, and you can draw for every other dinosaur you control. And then Galta, 8 mana, so we're starting to reach like higher, and then Galta Maravan, 7 mana, but 12 for each of those discovers. And if you have a bunch of other stuff in your hand, immediately all of it comes onto the battlefield, and you still get the Discover trigger. And then, you know, like 12 mana Discover for 7, 8 mana, it's worth it. Ancient Imperiosaur, 6, 6 again, or sorry, 7 for 6, still really good. Trample, ward, and then you can't really get the Convoke on it because you're, you know, bringing it in. So not as worth it, but still 7 mana for a 6/6 with trample and ward 2 that you get a 6 mana Discover off of. Still pretty good. Atali Primal Storm, obviously 6 mana, 6 Discover, and then all the other benefits it has when it attacks. Non-dinosaur creatures that I think are worth it, so you don't get the Discover, but you still have all the benefits that they bring. For 4 mana, you can go and grab General Marhalt, and then he has, whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn for each creature blocking it. So, you know, any of your trample dinosaurs or anything that you can give trample to, as soon as it becomes blocked, it immediately just becomes more damage. Same thing here, not more damage, but you have dealing combat damage to a player, you get cards. So you don't get the Discover trigger for these, but they're just insanely good value. 5 mana to go and grab this, and then have potential card draw later on. 5 mana here to go and grab this, and then have potential life, destruction, and you're always casting creatures. But I mean, you're playing a dinosaur deck, right? Like, yes, these are not dinosaurs, but all the other dinosaurs that you have, including the ones that I don't really think are necessarily worth fetching, right? It's just so much value potential out of just having these 3 cards, right? This one you'll always have. This one you won't always have, right? And this one you won't always have. But if you happen to have both of them, and this one's already on the battlefield, you're just getting a free tutor for whatever you want. And then you're also getting a Discover off of whatever it enters the battlefield, as long as it's a dinosaur. And if it's not a dinosaur, you get all the benefits of your best cards. And you can pull them from the graveyard. Absolutely insane 3-card little combination, technique, deck tech, whatever. It's just nuts.